Here we are at Wes's greenhouse, and it's November 27th, 25th, 24th, Black Friday. And this crop of organic tomatoes got hit with blight back in September. And the crop was a write-off at that point, and immediately we started using some organic amendments and fertilizers to make sure the nutrition was sufficient. Also, we started dosing with sea crop, and we use this plant right here in front of us actually as a test plant, and you can still see the dead leaves on this plant. These leaves were heavily infested with blight, and they died. In fact, the sea crop is sea minerals, and those leaves dried up very quickly. And within 2 weeks, we had new growth coming at the top and the bottom of this plant. But we noticed within 3 weeks there was new buds, and we were getting the fruit starting to set and not drop off. And so we've gone on from making salvaging over 50% of this crop, and I think it's quite a ways above that. But you can see there's. We thought we could probably kill 1 or 2 plants just testing how strong we could go with sea crop, knowing that sea crop does take care of blight, but at what levels. And so we were into some new territory here, but we felt it was worth it. And you can see some of these other plants, lots of fruit, still on these plants. And as you know, organic tomatoes demand a nice premium. And tomatoes are a very resilient crop, and they put out some new foliage, and instead of pruning it off these plants, we let it grow because we lost a lot of leaves, as you can still see them here. And but it didn't hold this crop back, it didn't shut it down. And the lesson we learned was from day one, use these foliar feeds, use sea crop to prevent fungus, and make sure the nutrients are maxed out with the EAE line of products, the plant health therapy products, PHT. We're getting 100% available nutrients that are basically they're higher forms of carbohydrates and mineral chelates. So they require no energy from the plant to utilize them, and they're taken in through the leaf surface within a few minutes. And products like AgriGro Ultra, they're absorbed into that plant, taken right down through to the root, where they stimulate bacteria in the soil and fungi in the soil, which in turn, as you know, feed off the sugars of the plant and manufacture minerals that are bound up in the soil. and they supply them right back to the plant. So there's a symbiotic relationship, codependency between the soil biology and the plant biology. And these plants aren't a pretty sight, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to learn from it and to see what you can do. And of course, on the preventative side, we can do much, much more than on the control side. On the control side, you knock down a disease when it hits your crop, and but in case of tomatoes, you're taking a big economic hit because you've lost your genetic potential, and you've lost your projections. But you can get a crop. You can save your crop and salvage a good chunk of your projected cash flow, probably 50 to 70%, and you're still in business. And it's very encouraging as a farmer to be able to get a crop. And I'm showing you these tomatoes, so it's also on this this greenhouse. We reconfigured the watering times, irrigation times, and so the soil received a little more water, and that helped. One thing to remember on tomato crops and other fast-growing crops, that they are a heavy feeder. And by that, it's like you being hungry all the time, sitting at the table all the time and saying, more food, more food, more food. That's what these plants are. They eat all the time, and they grow all the time. They can grow 1 to 2 feet per week. And not only that, when they do grow, you want a tomato that is disease-free, repels disease, and is full of sugar, full of, so they're high bricks, and with a low pH in the mid-6s, and full of minerals. So the fruit weighs more. It's what we call nutrient dense, which means it's heavy with minerals, so it's dense. And heavy in minerals means high in nutrition, high in value, high in health benefits to the consumer. And this is what consumers are looking for. And it satisfies you when you eat this food because it's high in minerals, which your body is craving and needs, high in calcium. So that's one of the foliar fertilizers we had on here was phosphorus with calcium. You need calcium to build cellular structure, and along with phosphorus, potassium is in high demand, and so it's important to have your proper nutrition for these plants. To drip feed them, to foliar spray them, and you can feed them sufficiently by drip if you can't spray the foliage. If you start them off on the high nutrition, proper nutrition, lots of potassium and other trace minerals, you won't have insect problems. You won't have disease problems. Check the pH in the leaves every week or two, and you can thwart disease manifesting because the plant sap will drop in pH 2 to 3 weeks before it'll manifest in the plant itself. So we can stay ahead of problems, but it takes a little planning. And But it's a lot easier for the farmer to pay for these inputs if they can maximize their crop, maximize what they're planning on harvesting, and you know, then you got some money left over to go on holidays. Replace that car and that tractor. You can see there's lots of fruit in here yet. Lots of fruit. Look at the size of this one. It's almost a pound of that single tomato. Here's more. It's almost 2 pounds there in those two. There's cluster 3. And you can see the diseased plants, these brown leaves. That was the blight. But you know, these plants still put out, they still came across with a crop. And this is one tough plant. So lots of things we can do nutritionally now that weren't even heard of 4 or 5 years ago. And it makes it a lot of fun, actually. When you can get a crop, have a healthy crop, have a premium crop. This supplier's wholesaler told him that he can't begin to produce tomatoes like this, and he's giving this farmer preference in supplying him with tomatoes, and they're coming out of this greenhouse. So you can imagine what he would have here if we had prevented this problem from occurring. He would have had a tremendous crop, probably double the production we got, double the income, and potential for this, this half acre or so was like $25,000, and fertilizer inputs probably under $1,000. And it took care of take care of all these problems. It would have been prevented. So there you have it. Thank you.